As they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken in the wind? But what went ye out in the wilderness to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. And we know Esau Edom was in rulership at that time. So it's obvious as to who we would have appeared to see rather than somebody in wealthy apparels is which he's going into. All right. It says, but as verse 9, but what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than that, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I will send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. So you see, very clear scriptures showing prophecy that showing that prophecy is coming to pass as was spoken in Malachi into Matthew's last, and not like I say last, but you know what I mean. All right, it continues. It says, Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of a woman, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from his days of John the Baptist until now the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force, which we know. Salakia. Let's grab some water, quick. Alright, we continue. Salakia for that. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violence take it by force, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied, and the law prophesied until John. He made sure, this is Yahushua HaMashiach. Now, as we read this, we are going to find the precept indicating that the Messiah did not lie. So let's read. And if he receive it, this is Elias, which we know as Elijah, which was for to come. And the information provided, let me make sure and match it too. As he said, Malachi chapter 4 and verses 4, Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Right? And he made sure and clarify and confirm this with his own lips by stating, what? And if ye will receive it, this is Elijah, which was for to come. Let's grab that also in the NLT. Let me see what it looks like. Verses 14 to be exact. Verses 13 to 14. For before John came, all the prophets and the law of Moses looked forward to this present time. And if ye are willing to accept what I say, he, which is John, is Elijah. That the one the prophet said would come. The one the prophet said would come. John the Baptist is Elijah from the past. which concretely shows reincarnation, regeneration, as we are stating, same spirit, different vessel. Whether you like it or not, same spirit, different body. And he went on to confirm by stating, he that had ear, let him hear. Meaning if you could receive it, as he said before, then you're going to have nothing to worry about. So Yahushua confirmed that Elijah is John the Baptist. Not our words. He confirmed reincarnation, regeneration. Not we. He did. And the prophets made very clear mention, also identified that they know what reincarnation, regeneration was. It's a common understanding to them, apparently. A very common knowledge. I'm going to pause because we have a precept to get, right? Let's get the precept right here. Right? It says, for even here unto Salak were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was any guile found in his mouth. Now let's get that precept. We continue. Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. All right? Are we going to get this precept again? That's to confirm something else. But let's deal with this particular part, deal with guile in his mouth, because we went into ChatGPT and this is what we get, right? Again, I just put the phrase and I get the precept. The phrase, neither as any guile found in his mouth, is speaking about the sinless character and perfect honesty of the Messiah the verse comes from, which we did read, all right? The meaning is a guile means deceit, trickery, fraud, deliberate lying, or manipulation. There was none that was found in him. So this verse is saying the Messiah never spoke deceitful, no lies, no manipulation, no hidden corruption in his speech, which also traces back to, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth, in Isaiah chapter 53 and verses 9, dealing with the same Messiah prophecy, which was supposed to be dealt with. Again, we're going into it now, so we will get all this information, of course. But the main point is he didn't lie, utter a lie. So for you to say that what this is saying is a lie, or this is not referring to regeneration, because we have that precept, I believe, let me get it, I think it's, I'm trying to get the precept, is Matthew's, bro, into my, it was my head. Those that follow me. Those that follow in me. Matthew's 19. Salak. Matthew's 19 and verse 28. Direct precept. Those that follow me. Right. Right there. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, meaning in the incarnations from then till now. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon these thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's get that definition in what? Etymology. In the regeneration, right there, which we went through before, which when you go into the breakdown of the term from Latin to Latin, regenerare, I believe, it says to regenerate, or regenerare, or which it says again, which is generare to bring forth, and gene to give birth. So you are re-giving birth. In other words, you are recreating. You understand? Rebirthing. Being born again. Rebirthing. Bring forth again. Referring to procreation and familiar tribal groups. So this is what it's going into. So the regeneration is very much vivid or clear as to what we are saying also. These things cannot be denied. It cannot be denied. Let me get a precept. Now continuing into this, now we must add the take as to what John had said. For the purpose of not being disingenuous, it doesn't mean that John is correct. He just doesn't know, and we can show you why. All right? Let's go to John chapter 1 verses 19. It says, read down to, I believe it's about 21. I seen it there. It says, and this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, who art thou? And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not Hamashiach. And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elias? And he said, I am not. Art thou the prophet? And he answered, no. Then said they unto him, who art thou that may give who art thou that we may give an answer to them that sent us? What sayest thou of thyself? So they were inquiring because he denied that this is what he was. But the Messiah did make very clear mention that he actually was. Now the reason for this, why? Number one, it shows that they understand reincarnation, and it is common knowledge for them to go and ask him, wait now, are you the prophet which was mentioned to come? Or are you this one? Because it was prophesied back then for them to come, to return. A matter of fact, because they were here before, one as Elijah, one as Solomon. So they knew of reincarnation, regeneration. It was common knowledge to them. Very much clear. And the reason why, if you're reading, because you're reading Matthew, Yahweh Mashiach confirm, and he wouldn't lie. The reason why many of that he wouldn't have remembered, because I'm going to put it in this sense, and I'm going to read the precepts so you could see it yourself. It's as simple as you can get it. Remember, if you today was given that image as to how much times you would have died and how you would have died in the gruesome and most horrible ways, or getting sick, or things happening, or not working in your favor, relationships, trauma, and all these things, do you think you'd be a sane person in this day and age while having years, generations upon generations of your life being replayed in your head? What's the answer to that? That's all I want to ask. If you can answer it correctly, you know, because you're being sincere. We say, no. So, the Heavenly Father made it a balance. You come back renewed. Same spirit is being used, different vessel, new body, or different body. However, that different body comes with a different new mind. The spirit is the same, but the brain is different. So it removes the memory of what the past transgressions was. So that one, you don't go crazy, and bugged out, and possibly end your own life because you can't bear it, because many people have done that due to what they have went through in this current life. And now let me get the precept. First, Ecclesiastes, I wanted to get this for the longest while. Ecclesiastes 1 and verses 9. Right there. Simple. So the things that had been is that which shall be, which is read before. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Verses 11. It says, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been already of old times, which was before us. And there is no, again, you see what it says? It had already been of old times, which was before us. And there is no remembrance of former things, that think that of the past. You are now back. You are new. And what is in the past is no longer recollection to your mind. It is removed. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Very simple, very clear. And he made sure and set that standard to keep it a balance. The purpose is for a balance. Very clear. Let me get another precept to add to that. Oh, shalom, like love now. Until the next lesson. Shalom.